The race is on for South Carolina House District 100. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with Democratic candidate Michael Yates. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Michael Yates.
Yes, sir.
It's so good to see you again.
Always well to see you.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You know, the last time I did an interview with you a couple of months ago, I was the one with the blazer on and you didn't.
Yes, sir. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And I ran out the house this morning, headed over to the second day of my new job, and I forgot the blazer. But here we are.
Yes, sir. Exciting.
Well, I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah.
I went back just a few minutes ago before you came in here and listened to our last interview for Quintin's Close-Ups. And I know that you basically said, hey, I'm going to go out into the barbershops, I'm going to go to the small businesses, and let them see my vision as a young man.
Mm-hmm.
What is your vision now for House District 100 if you were to be elected today?
Still the same thing. It's getting out to the people because this morning we had a meeting in Berkeley County with the Democrats. And they said, Mike, you need to go out even more. I'm working 16 hours a day to provide for my family. And Wednesdays I go out or I phone bank, and Saturdays I usually go out and get into the community to see everybody and tell them what I plan on doing with their help. It's not always, it's never me, it's we. I told some people the other day in Del Webb that I will have everybody in Berkeley County saying we. It's no longer that individual that has that agenda. We all have an agenda to help each other's community, and the way the economy is now, we really have to help each other out.
And you talk about communities a lot in this particular answer, and you also said this the last time, quote, we have to interact with the people in the counties and the communities. Tell me, how are you doing in the communities right now?
Right now, it's a slow start. No need to even fabricate on that. It's kind of hard, but I'm getting there. This Saturday, earlier today, I went out a little bit, and the next 2 weeks are crunch time, and it's to get to know. People have been telling people about me, but they want to see me in action, and I have no problem with that. You know, making calls or seeing you in person, saying what it is that I think Berkeley County can improve at as a whole, and I think we as a whole will show everybody else, Charleston County, Dorchester County, show them that Berkeley County is here too. Don't X us out. We're here. And as you see, we're getting the jobs pouring in and the factories. And that's another story at hand. But to get back at what you were asking is to get more comfortable with people and saying, hey, I'm a young man and I'm here to help you. A public servant. That is what a representative is supposed to do. Be a public servant to the people and to the community. When they call you, you answer. You don't say, well, I will get back to you. You get right then. Stop and show appreciation that I thank you for voting for me. Even if you didn't vote for me, I still have time if I was elected.
Let me get back to that because I want to go back to the last interview one more time. But you also told me this during the first part of the last interview. You said this, quote, some leaders are not consistent with their voting. When you look at your opponent's voting record, that is, what do you see?
Some things, like I said, it isn't consistent. One thing that I think that should have been different is getting to know, like I said earlier, get to know people. It's a thing about you having town hall meetings, interacting, and asking them, what is your take on this bill? Would you say yay or nay? That's a big problem. A lot of people say they're not included. And it's like, why not? We should have quarterly meetings saying this is going on in our community. What do you guys think about it? And sometimes you have to go against your own party and say, hey, this is what the neighbors in my community and my district say that they want. And sometimes that's a hard thing to do.
The gas tax. What are people saying about that in Berkeley County?
It's high. We just recently had a 10% increase on the water. And now we have a fire fee. So the taxes are going up. And supposedly, what I researched is that we made $100 million and projected to be $133 million with the penny tax. Okay, where's the money going? People are still complaining about the roads. People are complaining about stoplights being in certain areas where they know they are dangerous. And that's where my point of record is, to me, it's not so good. You have to stay consistent with the voters in the community. And I've heard people say, she's done good on this, she's done good on that, because I'm not here to bash her at all or talk ill about her. It's just the facts that we have to do a better job. And if I was elected, those are the things that we will talk about in our town hall meetings. Gas tax, the property tax. Property tax is going up. And people are outraged because they're saying, why from last year my property tax was low and now this year it went up $500, $600, $700, $800. It doubled. Why is that? So those are the kind of questions that you can't run away from, because at the end of the day, they're going to come for you and they're going to say, you didn't return my call, or I wanted to know what are the things of why these things are happening. And it's also on us as well to go to the meetings, the council meetings, and see what's transpiring in our community, what the county council is brewing up.
And as a matter of fact, I was just reading an article on Channel 2's website in which one of the guys in Berkeley County complained about him paying a Berkeley County bond fee or whatever it was.
Yeah.
When you go back to the tax increase in Berkeley County, what more questions do you have about it?
The same as the constituents, the neighbors. Last year I didn't pay that much, and then this year it tripled. And me and my wife had to call and see what was the problem. And on the Berkeley County government website, they try to explain it or break down the fees and whatnot and why they up the property taxes. And me and my wife are still figuring it out to see what was the detail or what went up more than others did, and including of taxes, paying garbage tax, paying county school board and such. So we're still trying to figure that out.
And as a matter of fact, another issue that's going on in Berkeley County is the Beaver Right Recycling Center.
Yes.
That site per se. When you look at that issue from when it started to right now, what is the biggest difference in your mind?
It's sad that they had to take suit or action like that. That should have been done. Me, per se, my dad taught me to don't wait on anybody. I would have gathered up the community and asked for help, because if they didn't want to do anything, we have to take care of our own community and make sure you don't want it to be an eyesore. And that what it was. Those tires were there. From talking to the people, they said it was there. The guy didn't do or upheld his end of the bargain, and then now we were handed all these tires. And I know there was a safe issue with the mosquitoes and snakes and stuff, and we don't make sure kids are, out of those areas to make sure the community is safe. But now I see where they're getting on the ball, and that's something I would have been pressuring them on to say, hey, we need action. No more talking. We need doers. So let's get these things handled accordingly. And that's where I think I push a little bit too hard, maybe, to where that if there's an issue, I need to jump right on it. And if I'm called, the issue will be handled according and at an expeditious rate that we're supposed to do.
And you talked earlier about the stoplights and the potholes, I believe, in Berkeley County.
Mm-hmm.
Where is your confidence in the Department of Transportation right now?
Right now, they're moving slow. I understand there's things we have to do, go through certain people. But in my mind, per se, that I would have those things, done quickly. Those are the things that a lot of people I've talked to said they want done, is the infrastructure. Why isn't my road fixed? But other roads are fixed quicker than mine. And that's a thing, because when you ride over these potholes, alignment, that's where you have to put in that money. And now, I believe the SCDOT said they weren't going to pay for it. At one time, they said they were going to pay for it. And now they're saying, well, we're not responsible. But you are responsible, because the roads are supposed to be fixed. That's what the taxpayers do. That's what the penny tax was for. So now we're seeing not a halt, but slowly processing those things in Berkeley County, specifically in District 100, where we're supposed to make sure the constituents are comfortable on driving on these roads, especially people that go to work. We need to make sure those roads are accessible to them.
You talk about House District 100. If a voter came to you right now and asked you, what are the top 3 businesses in House District 100, you would say?
We have Google, we have Western Edge, and we might as well say Mercedes as well, because everything's collide with each other.
Okay.
Those are the 3 big businesses that have been introduced to Berkeley County. In that aspect, what kind of taxes did we put on them? There was an article about that saying, we gave them incentives. Now, and those incentives, where are we benefiting? Yeah, you can say 4,000 jobs were put into place. But other than that, what else did we benefit from? The voters, the constituents, the neighbors, the family members. Those are the things that, I would have asked, somebody, but I know if they were to ask me, those are the things that I want to get to the people, specifically the children, the young adults, the ones that are coming out of high school.
Right.
And that coincides with what bringing vocational back to the schools. When's the last time you heard about workshop, mechanic, plumbing? All these things can help our community out by getting the kids in high school an internship. So most of them aren't ready for, or they don't want to go to college. So let's give them a trade to work on, so they can say, well, Mom, Dad, I don't feel I'm ready for college. But you have a certificate and a trade that helps the whole community. And that's what we lost back in the, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't see that. When I was in school, I had that. Well, not per se mechanic, but workshop showing you how to work with your hands and building materials and stuff like that. Those are the things that I want to bring back to the school district with working with the principal, Berkeley High School, and the way the kids are going now, they're coming out with an associate's degree. So they have both things, a trade and you have an associate's. So now we can get you in the working field. And if you would want to go to Volvo, Mercedes, even Boeing, you have the certificate and the criteria to do so now. You can go on the playing field and go with the best, because you have that trade now. You have those skills and tools that some of us lack. So now there's no excuse on anybody saying we can't find a job, or the job market is so hard right now. Those are the things that I want to get them ready for the real world, as we, we're known right now to know.
And from the time you announced your campaign a couple of months ago to right now, what have you learned the most about House District 100?
It's a loving group. It's a loving community. Everybody looks out for everybody. The people I've engaged with, and everybody is the old saying is the village, it takes a village to raise a child. And I see that in Berkeley County. It's just like Charleston, where I was, in Maryville,
Right.
with my mother and father and my siblings. The village came together, and that's what I want us to do as well. It doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whoever is voted in, those are the people we have to look to. And what I felt is nothing but love coming from Charleston, moving my family to Berkeley County. And that's a good thing. I see a lot of things evolving with people working together, and especially with the sheriff's department, and getting the police and community back on track. That's one of my focuses as well. Getting the police to go to these neighborhoods and actually interacting with the elderly, with the kids, even the ones that are on the corner, saying, hey, this isn't right. You have to go in the belly of the beast to see what's going on. And that's what I've been doing all my life. And I don't put any recognition on it or want to publicize it through the Post and Courier or through here, but that's what I do on a daily basis, is go to the young millennials and say, hey, you have to go vote. Even if it's not for me, just vote. You are given that right. So take advantage of it. And whoever benefits you and your perspective and what you believe in and others, and just vote and say, okay, that person, that individual is really what I stand for.
Michael Yates, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate this, sir.
Anytime.
Love it.
Well, thank you greatly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.